Okay, so now the fights themselves. I've got a little bit to say about all 7 of them, but of course we'll get a little bit more into the weeds with some of the more major fights in this 7-fight card. So to start, let's go with Diego Lopez versus Steve Garcia. I don't have a ton of thoughts about this fight other than it's got fireworks written all over it, which is fitting for the Independence Day season. You have Garcia, who's seen the mountain twice, losing to Alexander Volkanovski. So he's seen the mountain, he hasn't crested it. And then you have Steve Garcia, who's on just a crazy streak. So essentially, for Steve Garcia, do you belong? And for Lopez, do you get to stay in the upper echelon of UFC featherweight? Now, in terms of X's and O's, I really do think it's just going to come down to who is the better mixed martial artist, who can put it all together on the night in the chaos, because we know with both guys, there's going to be chaos. The odds are close for a reason. They're super close. My gut says Steve Garcia just because of the run he's on, but Lopez is really good, man. So who the heck knows? The odds makers are doing the job right, because I have no idea. Next up is Bo Nickel versus Kyle Daukaus. And I know that the general public, the casual fan, heck, maybe even hardcore fans, don't put Bo Nickel and Kyle Daukaus in a same level of prospect. I mean, it makes sense, Bo Nickel with his wrestling background, but in terms of MMA, Kyle Daukaus is more experienced than anyone Bo Nickel has fought, and is of his same generation. So even though a lot of people are sleeping on Daukaus' chances, I would imagine he's a pretty sizable underdog. Let's look. Okay, Tapology has him as a plus 270. I'm sure that's different some places it could move, but I mean, dude's really good. It's just Bo Nickel is also really good, just much more highly lauded. So, okay, to focus on Daukaus for a second. He's fought some real guys. Just recently coming off wins of Weirdsmobile, Michelle Pereira, Pereira. He's the one he does backflips off the cage. Or he used to. Gerald Meerschaert. He got bounced from the UFC, and even in his first UFC stint, he fought real guys. He fought Eric Anders. He lost to Roman Dolidze. Had a no contest with Kevin Holland. And he lost his debut to Brennan Allen. So he lost against some of those names, but he did fight those names. And that's more than we can say for Bo Nickel, who, yes, he had the win over Paul Craig, which was a real weird performance where he tried to stand up and not wrestle. And then he ran up against RDR, who beat him up in the clinch and really, I hate this term. I really hate this term, fraud check. But in a way, he kind of got fraud checked, as much as I don't like that term. It's an accurate use of it, I think, even though I don't use it. But then he rebounded with that sick head kick KO against Rodolfo Vieira. Just really, really good stuff. And it shows signs of development. In terms of the actual fight, Bo Nickel should win. He's certainly expected to win. I mean, he's out here clean-shaven, looking like an off-duty Steve Rogers while he's doing interviews with Megan O'Leary. He wants this to be his big moment. And the UFC is really making him work for it. And it must be said, the UFC coming out of this, they end up with a new American star at middleweight, no matter who wins. Because a win for either guy proves they're gonna have staying power near the top of the division. And in terms of what both guys can offer each other, on the Daukaus side, we have a really rangy middleweight who can fight anywhere. He's good in the clinch, he has knockout power, and he has submissions. I mean, like, call the guy Darce Daukaus as his nickname. He has so many on his Tapology page. And then on the Bo Nickel side, we know what we're getting. Shutout wrestling with developing striking and heaps of expectations. So I don't know how exactly to put this, but if I'm talking who I think is going to win, my gut says Nickel. I think that his development is kind of been corrected since that loss, and he is around a really great team that's going to keep him straight. But if I'm going off of who has more ways to win and who's proven they can win in more ways, then it's Daukaus. And a win for Daukaus would just, like, I think fans around the world would explode for an early fireworks display. So, yeah, I don't know. I think it's going to be Bo Nickel, but man, Daukaus has every tool to pull it out. So don't be surprised if underdog money comes through on Kyle Darce Daukaus. And next up is a clash at lightweight between Mauricio Hufi and the American representative Michael Chandler, who wanted to be on this card against Conor McGregor, but instead he draws a much younger, much more lethal force at lightweight in 2026. And I don't know about you, but I really can only imagine this fight going one way. And to his credit, that's because Michael Chandler is such a madman. Like, I can only picture him just choosing war with Mauricio Hufi and trying to move forward. And yeah, he might try to wrestle, but I mean, come on, man. Michael Chandler, he is exceptionally entertaining. He has all the tools you would want a lightweight champion to have, and he routinely chooses not to use them. And now he's at an age where even if he wanted to, I'm not sure he could execute in the same way a younger version of Michael Chandler could. And so he's faced with a really big sniper in Mauricio Hufi, who is a big, sniping lightweight, whose style seems ready-made to, take out someone like Chandler. And now that he's worked with Alexander Volkanovski and gotten some new looks over there outside of the Fight Nerds, I think we're going to see a new and improved version, certainly one who could deal with the types of problems that Michael Chandler's going to present, which is that intense forward pressure, maybe some offensive wrestling, and a mean right hand. Don't get it wrong, though. This is not an easy assignment for Hufi. It's just a winnable one. He's going to have to maintain distance, be elusive, stay light on his feet, and really showcase the composure and will to win it's going to take to overcome the pressure from the Chandler side. So to put a bow on it, I'm going to go with Hufi in this one. I think the odds makers are right. I think it's going to be fun until it gets there. At the very least, Chandler is going to try his hardest. But I do think ultimately Mauricio Hufi's going to find a counter, walk Chandler into something. It's going to get ugly before ultimately Hufi's pulled away. And the next fight on the card wasn't originally on here, but by special order of the President of the United States, Derek the Black Beast Lewis takes on Josh Hokett at heavyweight. And I just have to say, I love that Derek Lewis is getting this opportunity. He's just, like, he is the type of character that we love MMA for. He's like just a normal guy. He hits really hard. He keeps it real. I'm such a big fan of this guy, and I'm excited to see him get this grand stage. That said, Josh Hokett should probably win here. Now, it's true he earned this opportunity by that incredible war with Curtis Blades, which I have to say is some of the best action we've had at heavyweight in genuinely years. So he's getting this opportunity against Derek Lewis because of that performance. But that was not that long ago, and he kind of went through the equivalent of a human car crash with Curtis Blades. So he's got to be still banged up. So there's just no way, even if he wanted to. Now, I mean, watch him do it and make me look silly, but there's just no way he's going to be able to do that sort of strategy again, even if he wanted to. Which means he's going to do the smart thing that we all know he should do and wrestle Derek Lewis. For sure, that's what he's going to do. He's going to wrestle Derek Lewis, and he's going to try to get a TKO on the floor. I mean, it's just I think that's what's going to happen, and I think he's probably going to get it done. But that's the logic side. If you're asking my heart, Black Beast all day, baby. I want balls as hot on the White House South Lawn. I want him to just, I mean, it's just a crazy event anyway, and so just take it up another notch. Trump will love it. We'll all love it. Happy America, everyone. And the fifth fight of the night is Sean O'Malley versus Aiemann Zahabi. Really, really big stakes at 135. Sean O'Malley, of course, on his quest to rematch Petr Yan. And Aiemann Zahabi, who had a rough start to his UFC tenure, but is now rattled off 7 straight. Most recently, a couple very disputed decisions against Aldo and Vera. But here he is against Sean O'Malley, and a win here would easily be the biggest one of his career. And so the battle lines here are pretty interesting because I would count both as counter-strikers, but both are very different types of counter-strikers. With Sean O'Malley, of course, being way more mobile, cutting a lot more angles, and looking to snipe from the outside, whereas Zahabi is not hard to find. He's right there for you, and he's trying to get into skirmishes right in the center. So he's going to be hunting O'Malley the entire time, or as long as this lasts. And one thing that I think is going to get him into trouble, he has a tendency to just sort of run in. And he did it as recently as the fight against Vera, where he just sort of runs forward, throwing punches, which to me looks like a O'Malley highlight on a silver platter. So yeah, Zahabi's style makes him insanely hittable, and he doesn't cover space in a way that would keep him safe from a fighter like O'Malley. But don't count him out. He hits insanely hard, he has all the skills necessary to win, and he's battle-tested if nothing else. In all these 7 straight wins he's coming into this fight with, he's had to overcome some level of adversity in all of them. So just because he might get clipped doesn't mean he's gonna lose. It just means he's gonna have to see his way through some stuff if he wants to, his likely path to victory is a decision. A hard-fought, close decision. So final answer, O'Malley, but for all you speculators out there, don't sleep on the underdog in this one. And here we are, the co-main event for the interim heavyweight championship of the world. Alex Poatan Pereira, the former middleweight and 2-time light heavyweight champion, is trying to make history by becoming the first man to touch gold in 3 weight classes, which, White House aside, is an insane achievement for a man who wasn't even in the UFC 5 years ago. But to actually get that done, he'll have to overcome French forever contender Cyril Gane, who last time out sent the current champ to the sidelines with just his fingertips. And jokes aside, he's a unique puzzle for any heavyweight, but especially Poatan for his first time out at 265. Gane's movement is nearly one of one. I can't really think of an analog across, well, especially heavyweight, but almost any weight class, fighters who move like him. And so yeah, at 265, he's an anomaly. And in terms of his strikes, he is lethal. He definitely can take out Poatan if he finds the right spot. And he definitely can. His last knockout was against Sergey Spivak. He stopped him in the second round. And he also stopped the Shui guy, Tai Tuivasa, before that. Plus, he can hurt you just as bad in the clinch, and he can also use the clinch to slow things down or find his way back to open space. And when fighting a fighter like Poatan, I fully expect him to do that a little bit if he has to. And with Pereira and the way that he stalks the opposition, he is gonna have to be on his wheels, or he's gonna have to be in the clinch. Either way, Poatan's gonna be looking to find him, whether it's with the left hook or looking to slow him down with those leg kicks. I'm really curious to see how Ciryl plays with the pressure of Alex Pereira. And I'm also eager to see how Pereira stays safe while he's on the hunt, because no doubt he's going to be moving forward, and no doubt Gon is going to be lobbing out long-range weapons the entire time he does it. In terms of who I think will win, I kind of see this fight in the same way I see Mauricio Hoofy versus Michael Chandler, and actually kind of how I see the main event as well, to kind of spoil that a little bit. It's just we know Poatan is going to move forward. And we know Ciryl Gane's game is more or less touch, don't be touched, move, win rounds. And I think probably the more efficient choice is going to win here. I just don't think that Gane is going to play ball the way that Poatan needs him to play ball. And if Gane is fighting in that way, it's because things have gone really bad for Poatan. But that's just how I see it. Let me know in the comments who you got winning that one. And now the main event for the UFC Lightweight Championship of the World, a unification bout between recent Miami transplant and undefeated Ilia Topuria against interim lightweight champ Justin the Highlight Gaethje. I have a feeling my crystal ball looks a lot like everyone else's. I don't see this going well for Justin Gaethje, as much of a heartbreaker as that is. Ilia Topuria, dynamite power, crazy resume, and 17 fights. And Justin Gaethje just kind of seems like a guy, like I said about the co-main event, he seems like a guy who's tailor-made for Topuria to show out. And again, not to repeat myself from the previous section, but Gaethje has even brought it up in interviews, that he knows his path to victory is exactly what Topuria wants. He knows he has to take massive, massive risks and essentially fight the perfect fight. He's going to have to fight on a wire to get this done against Ilia Topuria. And if he does it, oh goodness, he's going to become an American sports icon. I mean, he's a 5-1 underdog right now, depending on where you look. And it's for good reason, because every conceivable avenue I can daydream where he wins, it's an area where I just think Ilia Topuria is better. So if Justin Gaethje can pull this off, he would have maybe the greatest storybook ending in all of MMA. And I'll be watching from the other side of the world, hoping it happens. From the Modern Martial Artist, this has been Coby Mckinley, wishing you happy training. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the next one.